Hello, everyone. Welcome to Meanwhil's Tech Spark. I'm your host, David, and I'm joined here today with FAE Kareem. Thank you for helping us out.
Hello, David. Hello, everyone. I'm happy to be here today.
And I know that last week even, with Jessica and Kai, it was super fun, and very exciting. But I gotta set your expectations and level with everyone. It's gonna be a serious one. No silliness. It's gonna be straightforward because we're gonna be talking about the wall-mounted adapters. And I know that the Meanwhile has a large family of these series. But I first want to dive into the NGE. Can you tell us a bit more about our new NGE?
Yeah, the NGE series is standing for N is coming from new generation, and G is coming from green energy, and the E is coming from external wall mount adapters. So NGEs cover small power from a 12 volt up to 19 volt, from 12 watts up to 90 watts. And this one is new generation that we have been launching 2 months ago. And this is it gonna cover, we're gonna see later, this is it gonna cover a lot of series that we have right now.
I see that the first thing that you have noted as a feature is the universal AC input voltage. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, the universal AC input voltage, this is like a key feature that we sell in our product worldwide. So it can fit all the countries. So this is a good selling point because most of the AC, like the single phase input systems, that's for all the countries, they started from 100 up to 240. So our power supply covered from 80 to 260, which is positive, negative 10% more. So it is good margin for our power supply to sell one in every country. And there is two type of system, 50 hertz and 60 hertz. Like here in the United States using 60 hertz, and in Europe using 50 hertz. So this is just simple to not like this is not for a specific area. This is worldwide.
Got it. Okay, so it's ready to use anywhere. And for the temperature, I see this is also noted as well. Are there other older series, a smaller range of temperature?
Yeah, the other series is starting from negative 20 up to 60, but this is wide range. That's why we mentioned it. This is wide range that the ambient temperature can start from negative 30 Celsius up to 70 Celsius. So it can work in the cold area and also for the harsh environmental areas, a high ambient temperature.
And then for the slim design, why is that beneficial for us?
Actually, we designed this way to, the AC plug that has 2 or 3 guns. So
Standardized.
once you have like a big power supply, so you're gonna consume. So this is kind of saving the space from the other guns. So that's why we make it smaller.
Got it. So even at the higher range, like 90 power, it's
Yes.
still slim and you can
Still
fit
compared
more
with other series.
into the slots. Okay, excellent. And another thing I noticed, from our picture is there's no ground pin, and that's relating to the class 2. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
because here if you see the AC outlet, it's most of them, it's only line and the neutral, there is no ground. So we designed the power supply to meet class 2, which is this is not means the power supply is not safe. No, this is safe because we double the isolation inside the power supply to make it safe for the customer to using.
Okay, so because we don't have that ground prong, we're increasing the safety with more isolation, which makes it qualified for that class Roman numeral 2. Excellent. And then you also mentioned here that it is cost effective. How are we doing that?
Yeah, because our product is producing it in China, social, and this isn't gonna be fully, the fabrication is gonna be with fully machines, software machine, there is no human, it's gonna be working on this one, so it's gonna be time is reduced and also the cost effective, there's no labor, so that's why we mentioned this is a cost effective.
So the automation factory in Suzhou,
Yeah.
the NGE series is one of the things that they're able to assemble all of the machines.
Right.
Wow, that's amazing. And then I want to also ask about the efficiency and better performance. What does that translate into?
Yeah, this is our power supply that made the high efficiency, which is the heat coming from the power supply is less, the consuming power you taking from the grid to transfer to the output power is less. So that's why we call it this high efficiency, which is meet level 6 and standardized for level 6 and also meet level 7. We get all this later. and the better performance because the conduction emission and radiation emission here is much better compared to the other series. So here that's why showing this is the EMC is better performance compared to the other series.
Excellent. And I think the last one that you have noted is that like the other wall-mounted adapters that we have the option to change the DC output plug. Is that right?
Right. This is most of the customers, they don't know that the output plug, which is in this standard, it's coming with B1J, so we can swap this one to any kind of other connector that fit the customer application.
Got it. You know, one thing I don't see on here, Kareem, is the safety. What's the deal about the safety on the engine?
Yeah, here's the interesting part for the safety. So this power supply, it's fit all kind of application because this is certified for global certified for 6268, which is the IT application. The IT application you can use it for the audio and video applications. So this is the first one. It's global certified for this one, and also it's covered medical. So one product that cover IT and medical. So we made 60601-1, and also using for the household application, which is like a massage gun. So this one they can use it with 60335-1, and also using for the industrial product like a printer. So the printer is gonna meet the standard with 61558-1. So all of this is standard just in one product.
Wow. So when I go into the catalog online and look up the NGE series, right, it will have all four of these. There's not any like separate series that have just medical or just ITE. This one has all the main safeties on it.
Right.
That's amazing. And speaking of safety too, I believe this one is also rated at DOE level 6, is that right?
Yes. So to have the level 6, the Department of Energy, they have like certain specification that to have like level 6, you have your power supply, it has to be more efficient. The efficiency of the power supply has to be better, meet the standard, and also no load power consumption. So if we look to the slide here and see no load power consumption, this is mean we just plug to the wall and you don't using the output side. So this is just a plug. Yeah, like your phone charger, just to plug it to the wall and there is no output power. So here the Department of Energy, they have like a specific condition that if your power supply, for example, from 1 watt up to 49 watt, your power consumption was not low power, so it has to be less than or equal 0.1 watt. Or if you are between 49 watt up to 250 watt, your power it cannot be consuming more than 0.21 watts. So it has to be equal or less than this number to make sure your power supply is efficient. And the second regulation here for the DOE, the average efficiency. So they're gonna test your power supply at 25%, 50%, and 75%, and 100%, and they take the average for this number to make sure your power supply is their requirement. For example, here for the power supply, it's from 49 up to 200 watt. So there is two types here. If your output voltage is less than 6 volt, and if your output voltage is higher than 56 volts. So for example, here 88% that if your power supply output voltage is more than 6 volt and it's between 50 to 250. So your efficiency, the average efficiency, it has to be 88% from the power supply to meet their standard. So that's why we have this standard. So the power supply already met this standard and it is certified for level 6.
Got it. Looks like the requirements are pretty strict for level 6, and I believe the DOE level 6 was first enforced back in 2016, which is quite a long ago. Does that mean the DOE level 7 is on the horizon?
Yeah, and DOE level 7, it has to be launched this year. We don't know like yet which months it's gonna be launched, but the good thing for our product, it's already designed to meet the level 7. Level 7, it's gonna be more strict than these numbers. So, but the good thing, our power supply already met this one. So we will not redesign once they launch it. Like for example, if they launch it in August, so we can apply it right away from August. And we have like 2 years. So this within the years we can apply.
Got it. So DOE level 6 is the same metrics that they're comparing, but at lower, more strict values, right, closer to zero. And then you're saying that we have the NGE series ready for level 7 as soon as the announcement comes out, even though they give us 2 years to, get our things together. We have all of our dominoes in line, and when they announce it, we'll be able to say, hey, these are all now level 7 ready. Is that correct?
Right.
Oh, excellent. So this is, for the folks, who've been with us longer, this is the same thing that we did when we were transitioning from level 5 to level 6. We were ready for that transition, and we'll do the same as well for level 6. So that's very exciting.
Yeah.
Next, I wanted to speak about the universal input, AC input features about the NGE. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, so here the NGE series is coming with 3 different AC plugs. So we have the interchangeable plugs, which is the customer if the customer want to use it, like they are traveling a lot, they visit different country, they'll be over this one with the interchangeable to fit all the countries plugs, AC plugs. And for the US market, we have the US version, so that's using for the US marketing, and we have for Europe, we have the Europe plug. So E and U, this is both of them, this is fixed, they cannot be changeable, the AC plugs, and for the interchangeable, we have like the different plates, so this plates, it's gonna fit all the countries.
Got it. So I know before the NGE, we would have like a separate series that was able to handle this interchangeable feature. And then, some that are just EU version or US version, but now we simplified everything with the NGE and say, hey, why not have each IEU, applied to one series? And I think this is a good time for us to take a deeper look at the series themselves. We have the NGEs in the boxes, and as a kind of reminder on how to read the model name here, right? We have the series, we have the power, in this case 18, and then after that is going to be where we would determine either I, E, or U for interchangeable European or the US type plug, the voltage, and then the connector, right? So here we have the NGE 18U 12-P1J, so I'm expecting the standard plug type, 12 volts, 18 watts with the US plug. Let's take a look. You can see, wow, it's really small, so you're not kidding, you said the slim size. And then for the US one, we're able to pull down the prongs here, and you can see it's the 2-prong one. And then if we take a look at this other one, it's the same thing, except that instead of US, it is interchangeable, right? So let's take a look. One thing I want to highlight is that the look of it is very similar to the US one, right? When the prongs are face up. However, these are not movable, so you cannot use it right away. So what we have is the AC plugs, right? So this is our mixed bag type. But you can also, buy each plug type separately if you want a specific range. Kareem, I want to quiz you on the plugs here that I pull out. Is that okay? So how many countries can we cover? So this
this is covered for, this is for US markets,
this one,
this is for Australia,
this one here,
this is for Europe,
this one,
this is for the US,
and then
and this is for UK.
So again, the interchangeable type, since the prongs cannot come out, right, we cannot plug it in as it is, but if I want to use the US version, you just slide it in just like that, and it's very easy for us to move it to, let's say, EU version. So this is something that's very easy and reasonable to stock, as we said before, it has all of the safeties, right, from medical to ITE, as well as having this interchangeable plug type as well. So it's very versatile in that way. One thing I noticed, right, as we do for all of our external power supplies, is that the DC plugs are uniform, right? The P1J type. If we want something that is different, Kareem, how do we go about doing that?
Yeah, let's jump to the slides. Okay, So the slides, as you mentioned, this is the standard one, P1J, but if the customer wanna using different plugs, so we have like on our data sheet, so the customer can use from different plugs. What we have here in the table, and then instead of using the P1J, he can adjust. We have like a type number, and he can tell us about the tail number. But this one, if the customer wanna change it from the standard to the modified model, so he has to make a MOQ for this. And if the customer do not really want to use this kind of connector, they can use like external connector not listed here, and we can evaluate this connector and provide the customer with the code and also the lead time for this.
Got it. And then one question that I receive a lot, or our team in general, is, the lead time on the quoting. As you can imagine, we need to make sure that these modifications are first feasible. So the ones, the plugs here that are listed on the spec sheets are plugs that are essentially approved by the factory, right? So the main check here is the MOQ, either at a minimum of 1,000 pieces, or if the EAU is more than 200 pieces a year, plus the forecast value of 12,000 or more, right? And you can always ask me for details on how to calculate that value, but again, either if you can buy 1,000 pieces at once, right? We can do the modification there, or if it has to be a lower number, it would have to be a minimum of 200 and more than that 12,000 forecast in the EAU for that modification. And then for the plug types that are not listed here, as there are thousands of plugs out there, we would need to have more time spent on the engineering side, Kareem, to make sure that that plug type is feasible with the power supply, and make sure that the factory is okay with it as well.
Yes, that's exactly.
Excellent. Can you tell us a bit about how the NGE series fit in the applications?
Yeah, for the application side, it's kind of like straightforward application for the NGEs, and it's using for different applications. So again, this is one power supply. It's with many kind of safety standards. So let's say here for the IT standard, which is the monitoring system, we're using the NGE 18 watt to power up the gateway, so to can monitor the cameras. So this is kind of the application for the IT application.
Yes.
62368-1. And the other application for this one, it can be using for the medical application, which is using for air pressure. So just connected our NGE series with the blood pressure, so they can meet this medical standard. And also for the household application, which is the massage gun, the example I gave before. So this is can meet the standard for 60335-1.
Understood. So the same NGE, right, can be used in this wide range of applications, mainly because of the safety. So that's really good to see. And you can imagine too, it can be used all over the world as well, given that the plug types have nearly anything that you need for every country. I know we talked a lot about the NGE, Kareem. Why are we not talking about the other series? What's the deal with those guys?
You're gonna see this is the discontinued product that's gonna be replacement with the NGE. Like as you can see on the left side here, there is many component that many series is gonna be replacement for the NGE. So that's why we're trying to promote the NGE, this the new generation that it's gonna cover all this kind of series just in one series.
So I see that again, from the interchangeable type, right, from the GE series, or the other ones that have medical separately and industrial safeties separately attached on. The NGE is in a sense combining all of that together, and additionally at a cheaper cost, given that it's being manufactured in an automation setting. So there is nearly no reason at all to not recommend the NGE. So my advice to all the folks out there, if you have a lot of existing projects that are using the GEM or the GSM out there, it's very economical for the customer as well as a performance standpoint to recommend the NGE as something that they try to design in. And as you can see here, from the official Webull USA website on the discontinued category, right? We do not recommend this for new designs. Alright, so make sure that you don't use the older series before the NGE. The NGE should come to mind first.
Yeah.
And speaking of NGEs as well, I believe we have another one above 90 watts, right? The NGE 100.
Yeah, even if this series is sharing the NGE 100, sharing the same name, but this is completely different series that's using for like a charging application to charge your phone, to charge your tablet, to charge your laptop. So this is completely different series from the NGE. It started from 12 to 90 watts. This is completely different series. So it's come like some features here for this one we can go over and introduce the NGE with 100. So the first feature here for the NGE 100 that it's globally certified for the IT applications that using 62368 that one. And this is globally certified. So it's certified in UK, US, Europe countries, Canada, and many countries that it's already certified. That's why we mentioned this global certified, and also it support the power delivery 3.1 and QC, which is quick charger 3.0. So this is for the faster charging applications. And we have gallium nitride transistor. So this is gallium that is to help us to speed up the charging curve. 3 years of warranty for this one. It's made with the level 6. And auto detection, the cool feature for this one, it's can charge anything. You don't have to have like multiple output voltage, can fit anything that's starting from 5 volt up to 20 volts. So there is auto detect once you have like your phone charger, they need 5 volts. So they're gonna auto detect this voltage and the power supply, you're gonna charge based on the 5 volts. If your laptop need like 20 volts, so the charger you're gonna detect this volt and charge your laptop based on the 20 volts. And lastly, it's the universal AC input, which is using to setting worldwide and combat side and coming with last 2 power supply.
Excellent. So kind of recap the main differences that I'm seeing here. So instead of having the plug, coming out from the power supply itself, we have these USB input options for that DC output, right? So for customers that have, some crazy connector, as long as they have either USB-A or USB-C, it can fit well here. In addition to the automatically adjusting voltage range, which is very cool. And I believe, for this one as well, the power needs to be shared. So in the case, of 100, right? If I use one slot, that one slot can pull 100 watts. But if I use, say, all 4 that are plugged in, the split may be like 20, 20, 20, and 40, right?
Yeah, so for the output side, we have 4 types of the output side connector. We have USB, 2 USB Type-C, and 2 USB Type-A. So each one of them, like if you just want to using one outlet for the Type-C, you can get the 100 watts rated power from just one outlet. Or if you want to charge it like multiple device, so you can divide the power for all of them. So for Type-C, you can get 100. For type A, you will be able to get the maximum is 80 volts.
Oh, interesting.
So,
Okay.
but the total combined power of all of them is 100.
Okay, so the USB-C one is able to pull more out.
Yes.
Okay, and then you also mentioned that the gallium nitride is also enabling this power supply to charge faster. Is that the feature?
This is the feature for the gallium nitride. Yes.
Oh, okay, excellent. Can we see a bit more about, what to expect in the box of the NGE 100?
Yeah, here is the box. This is like a very first box that's it's shipping with that. Actually, the NGE is coming with 2 types. The US type,
Yes.
which is for the US, and the interchangeable type. There is no EU for the NGE 100. So this is how we look like the packaging for this one.
And then I believe the packaging itself is used, or or is created by recycled material, which is,
Right,
is very eco-friendly, as that's, one of our objectives of the SDG group. And as some of you may have seen, this is something that you can purchase in the SDG store, for 1,000 points. So if you wanna take one of these bad boys home, feel free to shop there as well. So this is something that you can expect from the box. So this is, we're looking at the interchangeable type, with all those different plugs that you can use. As well as a cable of the USB-C, which is as well the Meanwell peripheral accessories. So
Right.
you can kind of see the capabilities of this fast charging as well as fast data transfer as well. Plug it in to the computer itself, so it's very easy to use. Can you tell us also a bit about the applications of the
So,
NG100?
like I said, for the application, it's good using your tablets, your iPhone, your watch, anything that you need to charging at the same time. So 100 watt is pretty big power for the mobile application. So you can charge your phone, your tablet, your laptop at the same time by using just one source of light.
Got it. So this seems like a more kind of consumer-ready kind of power supply, right? Given that it has all these familiar USB plug types. So something like charging 4 iPads at the same time is very within its range, or within its range of capability, right? It's
Right.
a classic example. It's not pushing it or anything, and it can charge it very fast as well. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, awesome. So to summarize the NGE series as a whole, right, including the 100 and the 12 through 90, the NGE is something that is designed to encapsulate all of our previous external wall-mounted adapters in terms of the safeties, right? All 4 safeties that cover from medical to ITE, its efficiency rating, its slimmer form factor. So again, it's the go-to for anyone that's saying, hey, we're looking for something that's a wall-mounted adapter. Awesome. And then the last thing I want to leave on is, for any questions about the technical side of the NGE series, we have our team, Brian, Kareem, and Harlan. So please feel free to reach out to them, and as well as to myself, as well as or Jessica, or just anyone at the Meanwhile team, more than happy to help. And for the next tech spark, to give you guys a preview, it'll be myself again, Harlan. And we'll be talking about the ultra low profile PCB types, as well as the LOP new series as well. Kareem, thank you so much for helping us today.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Alrighty, that's a wrap for us.